Hello friends. Issues and burden of proof are interlinked concepts. In civil suits, issues comes under Order 14, Rule 1 to 5 of Code of Civil Procedure in India. Burden of proof comes under Section 101 to 106 of the Indian Evidence Act. What is an issue? Whenever a material proposition of fact is affirmed by one party and the same is denied by the opposite party, that will give rise to an issue. If a money lender makes a material affirmation or specific pleading in the plaint that the defendant had borrowed 3 lakh rupees from that money lender and defendant failed to repay the same, hence plaintiff is filing the money suit. The defendant in his defense written statement takes the stand that the defendant never borrowed any loan from that money lender plaintiff. Then the issue is that whether the defendant borrowed rupees 3 lakh from the plaintiff. This issue has to be proved by the plaintiff. The defendant need not prove the negative. One who asserts positively, affirmatively has to prove, not the one who denies. So burden is on the plaintiff. I will give you another ordinary example. If I contend that the color of this necktie is green, and if you simply deny it, no, it's not green, then burden is on me. I have to prove that its color is green. On the other hand, if I say that its color is green, and if you say that no, its color is black, then the onus will be on both parties. I have to prove that it is green and you have to prove that it is black. It is almost a 50-50 situation. So a clever defendant won't try to become over smart by extending his defense. He will simply deny, casting the burden on the plaintiff to prove everything. Say in the same previous example of lending money, after denying the borrower, if the defendant raises alternative plea that the plaintiff had not advanced me 3 lakh rupees, he had advanced me only 50,000 rupees, that too by playing fraud on me, by taking my signatures on blank sheet of papers, and thereafter he filled it according to his whims and fancies, then there will also be burden on the defendant to prove that whether the defendant proves that plaintiff played fraud on the defendant to create that agreement regarding loan or to create that demand promissory note. So this concept of burden of proof, to put it in a nutshell, says that on whom the primary responsibility lies to lead the evidence, otherwise he will fail in his case, because mere pleading is not proof. Pleading means plaint or written statement. It is neither proof nor evidence. Pleading has to be supported by evidence, either documentary or oral evidence during the stage of trial. Therefore, one more general principle is that the plaintiff has to stand on his own legs. He cannot take undue advantage of the weakness of the defendant side. Similarly, in criminal cases, the prosecution has to stand or fall on its own legs. It cannot take undue advantage of the weakness in the side of the accused. But if the accused raises special defense, for example, in the matter of theft, if the accused raises a special defense that no, on the date of alleged occurrence of theft, at city A, as the prosecution says. I was not at city A on that day itself. I was doing some other work at city M, which is at a distance of 400 miles from that city A. It's plea of alibi. When the accused raises such a special plea or defense, then by virtue of section 106 of the Indian Evidence Act, the burden gradually shifts on the shoulders of the accused to prove his special plea. Therefore, either for a civil side lawyer or for a criminal side lawyer, it is very important to be thorough with the concept of burden of proof. For that matter, in my opinion, we have to properly understand the essence hidden within section 101 to 106 of the Indian Evidence Act. Of course, there are some other sections thereafter, but we have to be very thorough with the concept of burden of proof, which are clearly explained or enunciated under those provisions. Thank you.